Are you guys just as excited as I am? We're finally trying to take our first step into a new, long journey ahead of us. You guys may already know this game called Katawa Shoujo. Happy Shoujo, made by 4 Leaf Studios. And yeah, I gotta admit I have played it before, but I wanted to show you guys and take you with me on we can say a second journey that I haven't really explored. So what do you say, shouldn't we just kick our shoes off to the side, hang our jackets up on, sit back in the chair, a little cozy, with some coffee, tea or cocoa, whatever you prefer, maybe some cake too, and let's get started. Alright. Start new game. A light breeze causes the naked branches overhead to rattle like wooden wind chimes. This is a popular retreat for couples in the summer. The deciduous trees provide a beautiful green canopy, far out of sight of teachers and fellow students. But now, in late winter, it feels like I'm standing on a pile of kindling. I breathe into my cupped hands and rub them together furiously to prevent them from numbing in this cold. Just how long am I expected to wait out here anyway? I'm sure the note said 4 PM. Ah yes, the note. Slipped between the pages of my math book while I wasn't looking. As far as cliches goes, I'm more a fan of the letter in the locker, but at least this way it shows a bit of initiative. As I ponder the meaning of the note, the snowfall gradually thickens. The snowflakes silently falling from the white-painted sky are the only sign of time passing in this stagnant world. Their slow descent upon the frozen forest makes it seem like time has slowed to a crawl. The rustling of dry snow underfoot startles me, interrupting the quiet mood. Someone is approaching me from behind. Hisao? You came? A hesitating, barely audible question. However, I recognize the owner of that dainty voice instantly. I feel my heart skip a beat. It's a voice I've listened to hundreds of times, but never as more than eavesdropper to a conversation. I turn to face the voice of my dreams, and my heart begins to race. Ivanako? I got a note telling me to wait here. It was yours? Damn it. I spent all afternoon trying to come up with a good line and that was the result? Pathetic. Yes, I asked a friend to give you that note. I'm so glad you got it. A shy, joyous smile that makes me so tense I couldn't move a single muscle even if I tried. No computer, do not dare try to restart. I'm gonna give you 4 hours. Leave me alone. Sorry about that. My heart is pounding now, as if it were trying to burst out from my chest and claim this girl for itself. So, here we are, out in the cold. Once again, the wind stirs up the branches, the cacophonous noise is music to my ears. Ivanako flinches ever so softly against the gust of wind. As it passes, she rights herself, as supported by some new confidence. Her eyes lock with mine, as she lazily twirls her long dark hair around her finger. All the while, the anxious beating of my heart grows louder. My throat is tight. I doubt I could even force a word out if I tried. You see, I wanted to know if you'd go out with me. I stand there, motionless, save for my pounding heart. I want to say something in reply, but my vocal cords feel like they've been stretched beyond the breaking point. Hisao? I reach up, try to massage my throat, but this only sends spikes of blinding pain along my arms. Hisao? My whole body freezes, save for my eyes, which shoot open in terror. Hisao! The beating in my heart suddenly stops, and I go weak at the knees. The world around me, the canopy of bare branches, the dull winter sky, Ivanako running towards me, all these fades to black. The last thing I remember before slipping away are the sounds of Ivanako screaming for help and the incessant clatter of the branches above. That's some way to start a story, guys. So excited. If you listen closely, the music is beautiful. The art style, as we see it right now, it's good. It's good. Nothing really spectacular, but it's actually pretty good. It's decent to look at. The colors are very nice. Oh, I completely forgot. Since this is the first episode, just wanted to say, hi there, my name is Trinity. And this is Katawa Shoujo. It's been 4 months since my heart attack. In that whole time, I can probably count the times I've left this hospital room unsupervised on one hand. 4 months is a pretty long time if you're left alone with your thoughts, so I've had plenty of time to come to terms with my situation. Arrhythmia. A strange word, a foreign, alien one. One that you don't want to be in the same room with. A rare condition. It causes the heart to act erratically and occasionally beat way too fast. It can be fatal. Apparently, I've had it for a long time. They said it was a miracle that I was able to go on so long without anything happening. Is that really a miracle? I guess it was supposed to make me feel better, more appreciative of my life. It really didn't go anything to cheer me up. My parents, I think, were hit harder by the news than I was. They practically had 2 hemorrhages apiece. I had really had a full day, but then to digest everything. To them, it was all fresh. They were even willing to sell our house in order to pay for a cure. Of course there isn't a cure. Because of the late discovery of this condition, I've had to stay at the hospital to recuperate from the treatments. When I was first admitted, it felt as if I was missed. For about a week, my room in the ward was full of flowers, balloons, and cards. But the visitors soon dwindled, and all the goodwill gifts began trickling down to nothing shortly after. I realized that the only reason I had gotten so many cards and flowers was because sending me their sympathy had been turned into a class project. Maybe some people were genuinely concerned, but I doubt it. Even in the beginning, I barely had visitors, and by the end of the first month, only my parents came by on a regular basis. Even Uncle was the last to stop visiting. After 6 weeks, I never saw her again. We never had that much to talk about when she visited anyway. We didn't touch the subject that was between us on that snowy day ever again. I can kinda understand, since, I don't know how to explain to other people in society that, oh god, you had a heart attack? What happened? You see, a girl confessed to me, so, yeah. Love took over. Excuse me. The hospital is not really a place I'd like to live in. The doctors and nurses feel so impersonal and faceless. I guess it's because they are in a hurry and they have a million other patients waiting for them, but it makes me feel uncomfortable. For the first month or so, I asked the head cardiologist every time I saw him for a rough estimate of when I'd be able to leave. He never answered anything in a straightforward way, but told me to wait and see if the treatment and surgeries worked. So, I idly observed the scar that those surgeries had left on my chest slowly change its appearance over time, thinking of it as some kind of an omen. I still asked the head cardiologist about leaving, but my expectations are low enough now that I'm not disappointed anymore when I don't get a reply. The way he shuffles around the answer shows that there is at least some hope. At some point I stopped watching TV. Who stops watching TV? Oh. I don't know why, I just did. Maybe it was the wrong kind of escapism for my situation. I started reading instead. There was a small library at the hospital. Although it was more like a storeroom for books, I began working my way through it, one small stack at a time. After consuming them, I would go back for more. I found that I liked reading, and I think I even became a bit addicted. I started feeling naked without a book in my hands. But I loved the stories. That was what my life was like. The days became increasingly harder to distinguish from each other, differing only by the book I was reading and the weather outside. It felt like time blurred into some kind of gooey mass I was trapped inside instead of moving within. A week could go by without me really noticing it. Sometimes I paused in realization that I didn't know what day of the week it was. But other times, all the things that surrounded me would painfully crash into my consciousness through the barrier of nonchalance I had set up for myself. The pages of my book would start to feel sharp and burning hot, and the heaviness in my chest would become so hard to bear that I had to put the book aside and just lay down for a while, looking at the ceiling as if I was going to cry. But that happened only rarely. I couldn't even cry. Today the doctor comes in and gives me a smile. He seems excited, but not very. It's like he is trying to make an effort to be happy on my behalf. My parents are here. It's been a few days since I've last seen them. Both of them are even sort of dressed up. Is this supposed to be some kind of special occasion? It's not a party. I don't see the booze. I don't see the food. I only see you. There is this ritual the head cardiologist has. He takes his time, sorting his papers, then setting them aside is to make a point of the pointlessness of what he just did. Then he casually sits down at the edge of the bed next to mine. He looks me in the eyes for a moment. Hello, Hisao. How are you today? Yeah. I don't answer him, but I smile a little, back at him. I believe that you can go home. Your heart is stronger now, and with some precautions, you should be fine. Yeah. We have all your medications sorted out. I'll give your father the prescription. The doctor hands a sheet of paper to my dad. Oh, sorry. Whose expression turns wooden as he reads it quickly. So many. No, wait. So many. I take it from his hand and look at it myself, feeling numb. How am I supposed to react to this? The absurdly long list of medications staring back at me from the paper seems insurmountable. They all blend together in a sea of letters. 200 milligrams, 400 milligrams a day, heparin, dysnorphia, 50 milligrams every 12 hours, abnormal vision. This is insane. Side effects, adverse effects, contraindications, and dosages are listed line after line with cold precision. I try to read them, but it's so futile. I can't understand any of it. Attempting to only makes me feel sicker. All of this for the rest of my life, every day. I'm afraid that is the best we can do to this point. Yeah. However, new medications are always being developed, so I wouldn't be surprised to see that this list fade over the years. Years? What kind of confidence boost is that? I'd have felt better if he hadn't said anything at all. Also, I've spoken with your parents, and we believe that it would be best if you don't return to your old school. Nah. What? Please calm down, Hisao. Listen to what the doctor has to say. Calm down? The way he says it tells me he knew full well that I wouldn't like him. Am I going to be homeschooled? Whatever of my concern shows, it's ignored. We all understand that your education is paramount. However, I don't think that it's wise for you to be without supervision. Yeah. At least not until we're sure that your medication is suitable. So, I've spoken to your parents about a transfer. It's a school called Yamaku Academy. It specializes in dealing with disabled students. Disabled? What? Am I? It has a 24-hour nursing staff, and it's only a few minutes from a highly regarded general hospital. The majority of students live on the campus, of course. You'll like it, I know. I sent my own daughter over there, even she doesn't like it. However, I figure it's the best place to be. Yeah. Think of it as a boarding school of sorts. It's designed to give students a degree of independence while keeping help nearby. Independence? It's a school for disabled kids. Don't try to distinguish that fact. Don't you dare, Doctor. Don't you dare. If it was really that free, there wouldn't be a 24-hour nursing staff, and you wouldn't make a hospital being nearby a selling point. Of course, that's only if you want to go, but your mother and I aren't really able to homeschool you. We went out there and had a look a couple of weeks back. I think you'd like this, son. Really, we just want to get rid of you. We don't like you that much. It looks like I really don't have a choice. Compared to the other heart problems, people with your condition usually tend to live long lives. You'll need a job one day, and this is a good opportunity to continue your education. Yeah. This isn't an opportunity. Don't call it an opportunity. Don't call it a goddamn opportunity! Well, you should be excited at the chance to go back to school. I remember you wanted to return to school, and while it's not the same one. Special school? That's an insult. This is what I want to say. It's a step down. It's not what you think. All of the students there are pretty active in their own sort of way. It's geared towards students that can still get around and learn. But you need a little help in one way or another. Your father's right. Your father's right. And many of the graduates of the school have gone on to do amazing things. Yeah. A person doesn't have to be held back by their disability. Yeah. One of my colleagues in another hospital is a graduate. I don't care. A person doesn't have to be held back by their disability. That's what a disability is. I really hate that something so important was decided for me. But what can I do about it? A normal life is out of the question now. It's funny. I'd always thought my life was actually kind of boring. But now I miss it. I want to protest. I want to blame this lack of reaction on shock, fatigue. I could easily yell out something now. Something about how I can go back to school anyway. But no. I don't say anything. The fact is that I know it's futile. I look around the room, feeling very tired of all this. The hospital, doctors, my condition, everything. I don't see anything that would make me feel any different. There really isn't a choice. I know this. But the thought of going to a disabled school, what are those even like? As much as I try to put a positive spin on this, it's very difficult. But let me try. A clean slate isn't a bad thing. That's all I can think to get me through this. At least I still have something. Even if it's a special school, it's at least something. It's a fresh start. And my life isn't over. It would be a mistake to just resign myself to thinking that. At the very least, I'll try to see what my life will look like. My new life. Act 1. Life expectancy. Yo, this is so amazing. The gate looked far too pompous for what it was. In fact, gates in general seem to do that, but this one especially so. red bricks, black wrought iron, and grey plaster, assembled into a whole that didn't feel welcoming at all. I wondered if it looked like what a gate for school should look like, but couldn't really decide. Probably no. Of course I didn't want to get stuck on thinking about the gate for too long, so I entered through it with a brisk pace that felt surprisingly good. Moving forward feels good. So I walked towards the main building of Yamako Academy with this brisk pace. I'm alone. As my parents are taking my stuff to the dorms, and there's supposed to be someone waiting for me. The grounds are incredibly lush, filled with green. And it doesn't feel like the kind of grounds a school would have. More like a park, with a clean walkway going past trees and the smell of fresh cut grass and all other park-like things. Words like clean and hygienic pop into my mind. It makes me shudder. I shake them off, stay open-minded now. It's your new life. You have to take it as it comes. That's what I tell myself. A few big buildings loom behind the leafy canopies. Too big and too many for just a school. Everything seems off. It's different from what I thought I knew about schools. It's an uncanny valley. Even though I was told this is my new school, in the back of my head, it doesn't feel like one. I wonder if the feeling is real or caused by my expectations of the school for the disabled. Hey look, Jean Grey. You know. No X-Material. Speaking of that, I don't see anyone else here. It's kinda eerie. It makes me wish there was somebody here so I could anchor myself to something tangible instead of having this feeling that I stepped into another dimension. The trees hum with the wind and green hues flashing all around me catch my attention. It makes me think about hospitals again. How they say that the operating rooms are painted green because green is a common color. So why am I feeling so anxious despite all this greenery? Dots. Only after I stand in front of the haughty main building, I surprised myself by realizing why the gate bothered me. It was the last chance I had to return back, even if I had no life I could return to. God damn it. But still, after entering, there was absolutely no way, nope, I could go back anymore. Feeling nervous and with this realization set in my head, I opened the front door. A tall man with bad posture noticed me as I entered. We're the only people in the lobby, so it's only logical. Excuse me.
You must be Nikki?
Game, please don't use my real name in front of the audience. That would be very nice. Thank you very much. Nakai.
So you are. Excellent. I'm your homeroom and science teacher. My name is Matoma. Welcome.
We exchanged a handshake that is neither firm nor sloppy, and he looked at his watch.
The head nurse asked you for a brief check-in visit, but there's no time for that now.
Oh? Should I go later?
Yes. Afternoon is probably fine. We should get going and introduce you to the rest of the class. They're waiting already.
Waiting for me? I don't really like being the center of attention, but I guess it's inevitable in a situation like this. Somehow, not knowing what is waiting for me makes me feel really nervous. Thinking of this, I almost miss what the teacher is saying.
Do you want to introduce yourself to the class?
Yeah, why not? I mean, wait, let's just save here. Make a quick save. Just in case that we need to maybe return back into time and, well, make a different choice. Yeah, of course. Yeah, sure. I mean, isn't that normal?
Of course. But not everyone likes to be at the center of attention.
I'm probably one of those people, but I guess I should be the one to give the first impression of myself. Right, but it's no problem.
That's good.
My heart is pounding in my chest and it keeps me thinking about my condition as I follow the teacher up the stairs. The third door down the third floor corridor is marked as the classroom for class 3-3. Matsuo opens the door and enters.
Good morning, everybody. Sorry I'm late again.
I hesitate for a split second at the door, freezing on the spot. Get a grip. This is a big step. I know that. But there isn't any point worrying about so much about it. At least not this soon. Oh. Hi, everybody. Oh, so we got one with... Let's see. We got one with two kind of colors of eyes. We have one very light-haired, a nice guy in the background with a cane. Oh, this is kind of cute. And she's incredibly cute, the girl right there. I don't know about you guys, but she's actually very attractive. Just when you look at her like this, right now, you take her into picture. She's really attractive, eye-catching and all that. Maybe it's just because the preferences for each people is different. I will continue now, sorry. I follow the teacher into the classroom and look around. Partially so I won't have to meet the curious gazes of my new classmates. It's pretty spacious. The ceiling is unusually high and there's lots of space left over around and in between the desks. An entire wall taken up by blackboards and the high old-fashioned windows only make it seem larger. The students' desks are just standard wooden desks with a shelf underneath for books and wooden chairs with metal frames. Simple and efficient. I start walking in front of the classroom and face the other students. They all look normal, like students in any other school. But then, why would they be here? They probably like me and have something wrong with them. Only it's just not immediately obvious. Then, I notice one of the girls seems to be missing the thumb of her right hand. It's a little jarring. Despite the natural tendency to listen when someone's talking about you, I tune out the teacher's speech halfway through while he introduces me to the class. I notice a flash of dark hair and see that someone's looking at me. A girl with really long straight hair that is pretty eye-catching. As she sees me looking back at her, she covers her face with her hands as if it will make her invisible. Look at the guy in the background. I wonder what his disability is. There's one boy with a cane leaning against the lockers at the rear of the class. It's weird seeing someone so young with a cane. Another girl seems to be making some weird hand motions. Sign language? She peers at me over the rims of her glasses, then goes back to whatever she's doing. She's kinda cute. So is the cherry-looking girl with the pink hair sitting next to her. She's really hard to miss. I don't know how I didn't notice her the moment I walked in.
Please, welcome a newest classmate.
He claps his hands, and so does everyone else except one girl in the first row who has only one hand. I cringed a little, but hid it by bowing in thanks for this applause I did not deserve. A collective silence tells me that I should open my mouth now. Well, like I've done in my head all the time. You know, I'm an introvert. It's the thing I do. So, I'm Hisao Nakai. And after that, my hobbies are reading and soccer. I hope to get along well with everyone, even though I'm a new student. And after that, I'm being so boring. This is exactly like every self-introduction ever. I should say something more. Yes, something more exciting. And I end up saying nothing. The teacher picks it up from there. Everyone seems to be satisfied, even with what little I said, though a few girls are whispering to each other, throwing glances at me. Like this? It could have gone worse. Dots. I listen to the teacher as he drones about getting along while letting my gaze sweep across the classroom. Everyone seems to be listening to him intently, and when he's done, they clap their hands again, which feels like a weird thing to do. The first row girl claps on this round with her one hand against the other wrist that ends in a bandaged stump. Yikes. It makes me feel a little bad.
We're going to be doing some group work today, so that'll give you a chance to talk with everyone. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, it's fine with me. You sure you're not Snake, right? Sure you're not Snake from Metal Gear Solid, right? Okay then.
That's good. You can work with, Hakamichi. She's the class representative. She can explain anything you might want to know. And I always want to be able to do that better, right?
How could I know? The teacher passes out the day's assignment and announces that we will be working in groups of 3. It hits me that I don't know who this Hakamichi is. Slow, the teacher seems to catch my helpless expression.
Alright, Hakamichi's right there. Shizune Hakamichi.
As he calls out her name, the cute, bubbly-looking girl with bright pink hair and gold eyes waves her hands at me. Hi there, and takes a seat next to her. I take a seat next to her by the window. Hey, I guess you're Hakamichi, right? It's nice to meet you. What? I'm caught off guard by her laughter. It's nice to meet you too, but I'm not Hakamichi. I'm Misha. This, by the way, is Hakamichi. Shit-chan. Giggling, Misha points to the girl next to her, the one I saw using sign language before. It looks like she's been staring at me this whole time. She nods once nonchalantly and shows that she acknowledges my presence, but only barely. She has short yet carefully neatly brushed hair, a pair of oval-shaped glasses balanced on the tip of a dainty nose, and dark blue eyes that seem to alternate every few seconds between analytical and slightly bored. It's nice to meet you. Dots. She immediately looks at Misha, who smiles and makes a few quick gestures with her hands. Hakamichi nods and makes a few gestures of her own. I start to wonder if the teacher was messing with me, saying things like, "You'll be able to talk with people, and who would better to explain things to you than blah 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 blah." I can see you're a little confused, right? But I understand why you would think I was Shi-chan. Shi-chan is deaf. I'm the person who translates things back and forth for her. I'm like an interpreter. She says it's nice to meet you too. You're the new student, aren't you? Well, Shi-chan, of course he is. If he wasn't, he wouldn't have been standing up there for no reason, right? He seems like a very interesting person, doesn't he? We knew there was going to be a new student, but we didn't know you would be here today so soon. Hichan, right? Hichan? Yep, it fits, doesn't it? Did I say it out loud? It's just a surprise, I never liked that nickname. I'm sorry, Hisao, you never told us that. So this is a first for us too. I don't really see how. It fits! You look just like I imagined. You look just like a Hichan. I wonder why everyone seems to think so. Hakamiti taps her fingers on the desk to get Misha's attention. They gesture back and forth to each other excitedly, their hands at a blur. Yep. Misha seems a little overwhelmed. Sorry about that. Hichan wants you to know that she's the class rep, so if there's anything you need to know, you can feel free to ask her. Do you like the school so far? We can show you around a little if you haven't had the time to walk around and familiarize yourself with it. Misha stumbles with the hard word a bit, making it stick out in her otherwise fluid translation. Thanks, that would be pretty helpful. Yeah, just kinda came straight to class today. That's no good. You should always try to learn as much as you can about where you're going before you go there, not just with school either. Always, even if it's the trip to the convenience store. Really, Hichan?
Guys, there's something weird about her.
Learn about where you're going? I guess I didn't bother to do that. I just didn't care enough to do so. I didn't look forward to this, even if I committed myself to go along with it half-assedly. But anyway, I don't say anything, and Misha signed something that ends in a shrug. What was that? It seems like it was about me. I feel like slumping over in the seat. Both of them are smiling, but that shrug hit me unexpectedly deeply. You look down. Are you okay? Don't take it the wrong way, please. I hate it when people are afraid to ask questions. That's how people learn things. By asking. Asking for help is perfectly normal, as much as needing help. Stop looking like you just failed the test. Alright. And another thing, you don't have to call Hichan something so formal like Hakamiti or class rep all the time. Just call her Hichan. Oh, she's blushing. Okay, maybe that's too casual. Maybe Shizune would be more appropriate. Yep. Shizune is fine. Okay, that would be a lot easier for me. I feel a lot more at ease. Both of them seem so friendly, so I feel like an idiot for being so apprehensive earlier. Especially about Shizune, who I'm assuming would be all business. Well, she does the kind of look and well, she still seems like that. Just less so, I guess. Huh? Alright, we haven't even touched the assignment. We should start work now or Hichan will get mad. The assignment is also kind of long, so we should start now if we want to finish it before the end of class. That too! Shizune glares. Looks like a puppy. Shizune glares at the two of us impatiently. I don't need to know sign language to understand that. Okay, I get the message. After class, we can take a walk around the grounds together. It's a nice day today, okay? The assignment is actually very challenging to get through, combining aspects of being both difficult and unnecessarily long. Still, we finished it a few minutes earlier than anyone else in the class, despite our late start. Shizune and Misha are really capable. They're quite different though. The class rep is as calm and professional as he looks, while Misha is a lot more playful and girlish. Not to mention a little more easily distracted. And to be honest, the two of them did most of the work, and I feel guilty about that. Bum, 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 bum. The clock tower bells ring. The signal the end of the period. Time for lunch. And I guess I'm gonna end it here, guys. So I thank you so very much for watching this video, and if you did enjoy this, well, do what you guys do best. Leave a like if you want to, and stay ready for more adventures. I will record another episode right away with this, and you don't have to, well, you don't have to wait for that long. I will get right to it, render and edit the first episode, and I'll see. Yeah, ending a first episode for the first time is actually kind of hard. Now, let me say this. As always, no, not as always, however, for the first time and for many more, I will see you guys in the next video. See ya!